Hi everyone, my name is Charlotte. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I will do my best to stop pausing and restarting the recording because I am trying to make it too perfect, so bear with. Apologies as this is my first vlog. I feel like a teenager saying that, only because I tried vlogging as a teen and it was cheesy. So this is kind of a teenage dream coming true, doing a channel with an actual purpose, which is nice, rather than just talking about my day when nothing that much happened. Anyway, this is my arts and crafts channel, I guess. A little bit about me first, and then I'll tell you what I plan to make, what I have already made, and some plans for the future. So I'm English, as you can tell, but I have actually travelled a little bit. I was born in England, but I was raised in France. I lived there for 20 years. I think I'm going to turn this fan off, this kitchen playing with me. That was the light, never mind. Hey! This is a very successful start. I'm loving it. I now live in Texas because that's where my husband is from. I moved to Texas a few months ago, and yeah, loving it so far. Very, very hot out here. What else can I say about Texas? There would be so much to say about Texas. I'll keep that for a few other videos, I think. Very much enjoying just being here. It's nice. I am an artist. I paint. It's kind of a weird thing for me to say that I'm an artist. That's kind of a new thing for me. I did not start as an artist. I am almost 32 years old. I used to work in health and social care for quite a few years. I was a cleaner in a nursing home. Then I was a trying to think what you'd call it here. I think in the US you guys call it nursing assistant. In England it's a healthcare assistant, and in France it was an aide-soignante, which is a healthcare assistant. I did that for a few years and then I went into nursing. Loved it, loved being a nurse. I was still a student when the pandemic hit, and a few months into the pandemic I graduated and started working in the hospital. Loved the work. It was hectic, it was really heavy. I was on a very busy ward. I had an amazing team. Loved the work I did, but could not handle it in the mental health kind of way. I think mainly because of the isolation where I was living at the time. I went literally from the house to work. Was not allowed to go out and see people outside of that. That's probably a whole other video I could do about mental health breaking down. To try to take a break from work, try to slow down, do less hours so that my mental health could recover, because at that point I was having daily panic attacks about going into work and it was very tough. I didn't know how to deal with it. It was no one's fault, it's just what happened. I had a very supportive manager at the time. It's not everyone who can say that, but I had a very good manager at the time who encouraged me to take time off for myself and reduce my hours, but sadly it wasn't enough. I could not recover. My mental health was just down the drain at that point, and I just had to take a step back. And something I did to help myself, because I couldn't do just nothing from day to day. I started painting. I had painted on and off my whole life, mainly watercolors, and just to help me recover, just to give myself something to do, something to work on whilst I was trying to figure out what was next. If I'm not doing nursing, what am I going to do? But my priority at that time was to fix myself, fix my brain, fix my emotions. And so I started painting, and I started just making things and seeing if I could potentially sell some stuff. So back in England, I joined art fairs, and I started selling a few things. And during that time, actually before I stopped nursing, I met my husband online, and my now husband online. He started coming over to England to visit me, and I came over to Texas and see him, and we eventually, after about over a year, we then got engaged. And that was 2-3 years ago. It's been a while. We started the whole visa process and finally got the green light to come over at the beginning of this year, and flew over and got married. So there you go. And I decided that I was going to continue with the painting, with trying to make this a business. Just a small business, because eventually I don't want to be a mom, and I love that this is something that I can do from home. I could go out and do farmers markets and such, and art fairs as well, but what helps me mental health wise is knowing that I can take breaks, I can work as hard as I want, or I can slow down if I need to, and I don't answer to anyone, if that makes sense. So I'm very excited to get that started. I'm actually having to restart what I'm doing, because I had originally started in England, because at the time I did start an Etsy shop and everything, but because of changing from the UK to the US, I actually have to make a new shop, which I don't mind. It's a fresh start, it's a blank canvas. More art pun. Sorry. I used to do a lot of watercolours. I haven't done watercolours in a while. I have actually been focusing more on acrylics. I have found it satisfying, the brightness of the colours, and the ability to fix mistakes a little bit easier than with watercolours. Watercolours I love the effect, I love the way it looks at the end, but there's a lot of frustration, for me anyway, when I make a mistake. I'm not great with making mistakes. That is definitely something I am working on. Tolerating a bit better the fact that I am a human like everyone else, and I make mistakes, and I need to learn how to deal with that. So acrylics has been my go-to for quite a few months. I'm really enjoying acrylics. I will show you some of my work in a little bit. So I paint, I make prints from my art, and then I make stickers, and I want my art to be accessible to everyone. Not everyone can afford an original painting, so the next best thing is a print, which is a lot cheaper, but still fairly priced. And then for kids, or not even just kids, like anyone can use stickers, but I'll show you why some of them are kind of probably a little bit more for kids, but mind you, I have friends and family who have had my stickers who are my age or a little bit older, who just enjoy cute things. That's my main focus. but in the evenings, when I have finished for the day with my painting, editing, making stickers with my Cricut, I like to knit. I've made some baby blankets. I like to make little stuffed toys. I want to get into making bracelets because that's fun and satisfying and quick and easy and doesn't take too much concentration while I'm watching TV. And something I want to try eventually, I'm very curious, is I feel like it could be really fun, is whittling or carving little wooden figurines. Potentially my little characters that I paint might become little carved creatures too, to have a little bit of a 3D character. So that's kind of my plan. I need to, probably after filming this, by the time I finish editing this video, then might be an Etsy shop done and made, but I will put that in the description if I've made one. I have an Instagram channel, a Pinterest I don't use all that much. I'm also on Facebook, so I will put all of that in the description below the video. Let me start by showing you my, oh no, that's what I forgot I was going to say. So one slight disaster happened last week, is that I discovered that a lot of my original pieces and prints I left back in the UK. I will not be able to get here because shipping all of that stuff over in a box would cost so much that it's not worth doing. Which is a shame because I had a lot of prints and I had quite a few original pieces. I had coasters that I'd painted on. I had canvases of pumpkins and butterflies and I can't remember what else now. But there were a few originals that I had that I don't know what to do with now they're at my parents' house. And I'm gonna have to figure that out, but I can't have them shipped over because the cost for it was horrendous. So I just thought it's not worth it. I might as well order some paper and reprint, because thankfully I have the edited prints on my computer, and I can just print them off here. It just means having to buy the paper, spend a bit on ink. I print everything here myself, for now at least, and I have a Cricut to cut out stickers and other things. But yeah, sadly a lot of my stuff is not going to be able to be shipped from England and I have to give up on those. I don't like painting the same thing twice. Some of the first acrylics I'd done were 5 different butterflies on buddleia flowers. And they were very detailed. And I decided I was going to make, they were about this big, I don't know how big that is in inches. What would that be, like 10 by 12, something like that maybe. And I decided I want to replicate the butterflies, to have more of a focus on the butterfly and less on the flower. And I made them into like, what's that, like 5 by 5 inches canvases. And I painted the butterfly and they look great. I hated doing it. I really don't like painting the same thing twice. I feel like, oh, I've already done this, I've already been there and done that, I don't want to do that again. It was worth it because it was very pretty, but again, sadly, those things have stayed in the UK. But I do have stickers of them. So, without further ado, where are my watercolours? Oh, here. So some of my original watercolours have stayed back in the UK. But just to give you an idea of some of the things I've painted and have made stickers and prints out of, just ignore the scratches on the frame bits. One was roses in a glass bottle. It's like a kind of like a old milk bottle. A lot of my paintings are from things I have seen in person, taken pictures of. So this is something that I actually had a picture of the roses in my kitchen. Squirrels chasing each other outside. Sorry. So I've done my roses. So for a penny, anyone who knows, it's 2 blooms for a penny from Oliver Twist. Then I did, my husband proposed to me when we were on a trip in Canada, because apparently we fancy that way. It sounds fancy. He proposed at Lake Louise, and to be fair, it's very fancy. Loved Lake Louise, beautiful place, Alberta, Canada. He proposed in the mud. It's very us to go somewhere beautiful, and yeah. We went in October, and there's 6 glaciers, I think, around the lake. So when it's warm and it melts, it creates like a river that goes down to the lake. When it's not melted and the glaciers are still there, like it was then, I think, there's only like little streams of water coming down in the riverbed. And my husband knows that I don't really like crowds, and he doesn't. I don't like doing things out in the open in front of everyone. So we kind of, most people stay like at the front of the lake, take a picture of the lake and the mountains, and kind of stay in that area because there's like restaurants and everything. But we walked around to the other side of the lake, and he was like, "Oh, there's a rock on the other side of that lake. We should go and sit on that rock and like just maybe like read a devotional and just sit there for a while and admire the view." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, sounds great." It took us probably about half an hour just to cross the riverbed because it was so muddy, absolutely covered in mud around our like shoes were ruined. It was really funny. It was good fun getting to the other side, and there were not that many people around because it was quite cold. And that's where he proposed, and it was super sweet. And I can't remember why I'm saying that. Oh yes, because this one, I do that sometimes. I apologise. You have to bear with me. This next painting is what caused that word vomit. That's not a nice way to describe it. We went for a few walks whilst we were there in Alberta, and one of the, what's it called? Lake Minnewanka, I want to say. We went for a walk around there, we went for a hike, and that was originally where he was going to propose, but we walked for so long, we were so tired afterwards, completely brain dead and everything hurts. So he chose not to propose there. But it was on that walk that we saw quite a few chipmunks, and my first time seeing a chipmunk in person, so I tried to get a picture from really far away, and this is roughly a representation of the chipmunk that I saw. So there's prints of this guy, there's also stickers. I think I gave my last chipmunk sticker away to my nephew, so I will have to make some more of those. And this guy is probably my favourite watercolour that I've made. Where I came from in England, there's a few years ago, there was in the middle of town, there was, what do you call them, aviaries, where they brought some owls into town for people to kind of admire the owls and hopefully like raise money to kind of support. I think it was like a charity that was just kind of rescuing the owls or something, rehabilitating them, if that's how you pronounce it. I think that's what they were doing. It was a long time ago. But I took pictures, and one of these owls, gorgeous owls, just kind of resting like just eyes closed, peacefully sitting on this perch. And instead of painting the plastic kind of green, like fake grass perch that he was on, I decided to paint him as if he was like on a branch in nature. Like I kind of imagined that that's what he was dreaming about. So this is my little guy, just peacefully resting on the branch. Those are 3 of them because I think all of the other ones are back in England, sadly. But I do have the prints on my computer, so I'll be making some of those and advertising this at some point. What shall I show you next? Next is probably my favourite acrylic paintings I've done so far. So this is not based off something I saw myself, just kind of videos online and everything. I just got the inspiration. I wanted to paint some chickens and some chicks. So this is one of my favourite acrylics. So I got the mama hen with her 5 babies and really enjoyed painting them. So I will very soon be making prints of them. So I already have the stickers. Ignore my terrible messed up varnish. We moved into this house a couple of months ago and we've been doing a lot of DIY. So I will go and paint my nails and then obviously the next day do some renovations. So obviously my nails won't look looking like this. Mama hen and her 5 little chicks. I love those ones. Those are really, really fun. The original I fell in love with and decided I just couldn't sell. So prints will be made. However, I did do 3 little canvases of 3 of probably my favourite chicks that were on the canvas. So obviously those again are replicas of something. So did not enjoy painting them twice, but thankfully the chicks are quite fun and simple to paint. So they didn't take me a very long time. So this one's probably my favourite, the one that's looking up at his mama. These little ones will be for sale. There's that little bit of a chunk. And this one is an extra chunk because I just made him huge. This is gonna be a rooster. Bork. This is not a cheap cute little chick. This is a bork. Chunk. I will probably paint some more chickens in the future because it was a challenge, and I like a challenge. It's something new. I've never painted a chicken before, but I very much enjoyed doing that. Something that I found I love different cultures. I love new places. So over time I will probably paint things that are kind of more British themed, more French themed, and more Texan themed, because this is where I live and I want to embrace where I live and show some of the culture and the stuff that I see and do. An animal I discovered since I've moved here, or since I started visiting, that I just find so goofy and mesmerizing and just really so inspiring to me, oddly enough, is raccoons. I just really enjoy watching them. They're a very goofy animal, clumsy, and get into the things that they shouldn't be getting into, and so I took that as inspiration. I made 4, I have about 6 raccoon paintings in total so far. I made 4, 1 for each season of the year, and I wanted to paint them in a way of how can these raccoons get into trouble, into mischief. Not really bad, bad, but like, what kind of goofy things can they get themselves into? So let's start with spring. This is my spring raccoon. He is obviously holding his blue bonnet, the flag of Texas. He's holding, they're called Indian, this is what my husband told me, they were called Indian paintbrushes, which is often found growing near blue bonnets. And just little flowers and foliage. And you know, because he tore up the flowers out of the ground and he wasn't supposed to. So obviously he's holding a beautiful bouquet, but slightly messy, and the roots and the dirt is still hanging on at the bottom because he's a raccoon. Of course, he doesn't know anything about making a proper bouquet. This one is my, I had a moment where I was like, am I getting the seasons? Yes, I'm getting the seasons in the raccoon. This is my summer raccoon. He has obviously been and stolen a bunch of ice creams and popsicles that he wasn't supposed to steal. But he made a beautiful sandcastle. My husband liked the idea of him he stole a boat, wound up on a desert island, but still managed to find ice cream. You can make up any kind of story you want. This is a mischievous raccoon. Don't, beware of your pumpkins. You might get eaten by, the innards might get eaten by a raccoon. This was actually the first one I made. I think it was just before I wanted to paint a raccoon and a pumpkin. So this was actually the first one I painted. So it goes face full of innards. He went and got himself tangled up in He got himself tangled up in Christmas lights. And you kind of need to see how. I already have another summer raccoon. He's having a party all by himself on his black flamingo. This one was just for fun, but he's going to turn into a sticker as well. I just enjoy the goofiness of these animals. So yeah, there you go. That's so far the main stuff I have to show, because a lot of my stuff, sadly, as I said, is back in the UK. Something I can show you very quickly is some of the stickers that I made that I've been testing. I bought some waterproof laminate stickers that I've been making with my Cricut. From all of the paintings I've made, and I stuck them to my Yeti cup because I discovered Yetis here in the UK. Just for those that don't know, that's a brand for a whole bunch of coolers, cups that keep your drink either hot or cold, and they're very, very good. That's like an understatement. And I stuck my stickers to them. I got two qualities of stickers. One was just a little bit pricier than the other. I wanted to get both to see if it was worth getting the more expensive sticker. So I put both on my Yeti cup, and I've run it through the dishwasher, I want to say 20 to 30 times. And hand washed as well. So I've got plenty wet and soap and coffee on it, on everything. And so just bear that in mind when you see them, because they are kind of worn now, but they have been in the dishwasher 20 to 30 times at least. So here we are, some of the ones I've made. So these are my butterflies that I sadly had to save up in England. This is a pipevine swallowtail butterfly. This is a yellow swallowtail butterfly. This is the roses that I showed you. This is my chipmunk. So this is the only sticker that was, I made a mistake. I was going to do one cup with the more expensive stickers and then another cup with the less expensive stickers. But I'm kind of glad I forgot. This is the only sticker that's the lower quality, or lower priced. I would say the quality of both is really, really good. Both are fine. But the more expensive one, they have lasted a bit longer. These ones started to peel on the edges quite a bit sooner than the other ones. But I put these on months ago. I want to say 4 or 5 months at least that I put these on. And I use this every day, pretty much every day. So this one is the one that's worn the most, and I'm not really sure why. I feel like that happened quite quickly and actually recently. And they started to unstick. Every one of the stickers has started to peel a little bit at the edges, but honestly not that much. So this one's the one that's worn out the most on the whole cup, and it's the one that's a little bit cheaper, and that was the QYH. I think it's QYH stickers. They're still really good. I really liked those. My other cup was covered with nothing but these QYH stickers. Just that when I make the stickers, I am made with the sticker paper, the QYH vinyl sticker paper, print them, and then I put a laminate over the top. So this is also laminated. So it's really done very well. It's just, I'm not sure why that's happened. I don't think it was sat in the sun. Even so, I don't think it would have been like that shape, so I'm not sure what happened there. So I also have my owl, and he's practically perfect. There's just a couple of areas where it started to unstick a little bit there. No, oh, and I didn't say the better quality, the more expensive sticker was Joyeza, Joyeza stickers, and they've done really well. These have done really, really well. There's just the laminate started peeling off because when I made the stickers, the laminate missed a piece. That was just me and the way I printed them wrong, and didn't put the laminate as far out as it should have. So it started to unstick here. I don't know if you could hear that, but that was my washing machine is finished. It's a nice little tune. So it started to unstick here just because I didn't put the laminate to the end of the sticker like I was supposed to here. So it started to unstick. But if you take the butterfly, for example, that was completely covered in laminate. It's just started to unstick in some areas. Even here, like on the thinner bits, it's not unsticking. It's obviously started to get like a little bit of like a stain, probably from the coffee, on the very corners, but it's barely noticeable. And then on the bottom, I want to say that's a cabbage white butterfly, I can't remember, I think it is. And then a ladybug. And that's it on that one. So obviously all of my stickers are covered in my hair. I have cut them out, and I have all of my little raccoon stickers that I've made. And so there you go. I think that's everything I wanted to say. That was a very long introduction video, and I apologise. And thank you if you made it this far into it. What else can I say? I will link everything below, and welcome to my channel again. Thank you for following, thank you for supporting, and I will see you not in person, I guess, but you will see me soon. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.